Scrolling through my social media feed, I came across a girl wearing the exact same dress as mine. She smiled brightly at her mirror selfie, the flowing gown accentuating her radiant confidence. Her caption read, "The dress is nice, but it looks better on me." I switched back to my chat with Ryan and calmly typed, "We're done." The dress wasn't expensive, but there should have been only one in the world. Yet it now hung quietly in my closet. Putting down my phone, I glanced at the framed photo on my nightstand, my graduation photo from 2 years ago, wearing this very dress. This was my senior thesis project. I'd pulled all-nighters for 2 straight months to complete it, looking so haggard during the photo shoot that no makeup could hide my exhaustion. Admittedly, it never looked as good on me as it did on her. My phone kept buzzing with over 20 missed calls from Ryan. His profile picture still showed our couple photo, the perfect illusion of devotion. Before blocking him, I saw his final message, "Let's talk when I get back." I started packing immediately. His explanations meant nothing now. While I was away, he'd brought another girl into our home. Let her sleep in my bed. Let her try on my dress and ask him who wore it better. The truth finally clicked when I noticed the fresh laundry scent clinging to the dress I'd never washed since graduation. The girl in the photo seemed to materialize before me, mocking my obliviousness. I remembered her now, the stranger who stopped me downstairs 2 months ago, panicking about her dog's poop bags. She begged to borrow my boba tea carrier, insisting we exchange contacts to make it up to me. That carrier held the tea Ryan ordered to calm my nerves before an important meeting. His note had said, "Don't stress, babe. You've got this." At the time, I thought nothing of lending it to some rushed interviewee. But she kept pressing, "This must be special from your boyfriend?" Her excessive politeness felt like I'd loaned her gold instead of a paper bag. Now I understood. She came to scope out the place when Ryan was away, saw his ordinary girlfriend, took my contact, planned this entire charade. Let her keep the cheap dress. I'm taking back my self-respect. To placate her, Ryan would undoubtedly claim she was the more attractive one. Then they'd bask in the rising chemistry. The artwork I took such pride in became their shared weapon against me. Ryan and I met as colleagues after college. He could never comprehend what that dress meant to me. Coming from the affluent Hughes family, he was then preparing to take over his parents' corporation. After graduation, I joined their company. When we started dating, wanting to avoid workplace romance complications and his parents' potential judgment, I made the foolish decision to resign voluntarily. Ryan had been gratified by my sacrifice back then. He returned just as I was opening the door with my suitcase. His eyes locked on the luggage. "What's this really about?" I shoved the bedside photo and that social media post in his face. The impact seemed to physically stagger him, leaving him speechless. When I walked out, Ryan remained motionless, head bowed. I wondered if the grating suitcase wheels reminded him of broken promises. Later came the barrage of pleading texts from various numbers. Frowny face, "I'm sorry. What do you want? Designer bags? Jewelry? This is trivial. You're overreacting. You're a designer." The Clark family's connections in this industry could be invaluable. Leaving me serves no purpose. His hollow apologies reeked of manipulative entitlement. He even had his parents call, fishing about recent disagreements. I kept my dignity intact. The transgressor shouldn't demand explanations. A week later, I started at the new firm where I'd survived multiple interview rounds. While organizing my desk, a familiar female voice drifted down, "Frowning on your first day? You seem troubled." I looked up to find the woman from that fateful social media post smiling her saccharine smile. Her badge read, "Assistant Designer Sophia Clark." Before I could speak, she deposited an iced Americano on my desk filled to the brim with ice cubes that made my cramping stomach twist. Our workstations ended up adjacent, separated only by an aisle. During preparations for an important executive meeting, a delivery arrived. Ryan's signature thoughtfulness, complete with hot drinks and apology card. Before I could dispose of it, the interview panel materialized at my desk. The lead interviewer scowled. Are we running a cafe or workplace? As seasoned professionals, we're expected to swallow grievances. But today's storm clouds needed release. Methodically, I began depositing each steaming cup into the trash liquid sloshing over when the bin overflowed. Satisfied? I challenged the unidentified man lacking any credentials. The office froze. Even Sophia retreated to the shadows. After prolonged scrutiny, the man turned wordlessly toward the conference room. The cramps kept getting worse, and I couldn't focus at all during the meeting. By the end, I was practically slumped over the desk, my hair damp with cold sweat. Several times, Jake glanced my way, but I was too preoccupied to care. The second the meeting ended, I bolted for the restroom. A sharp cramp hit me halfway there, forcing me to crouch against the wall. Someone steadied me from behind, hesitant voice asking, "You're not okay?" I turned to see Jake again. I shook off his hand and stumbled into a stall. When I came out, a girl waited by the sinks, sympathy in her eyes. "Here." She held out painkillers. "Jake isn't usually this intense. Our design firm's pretty chill about hierarchy. Guess he's just having one of those days." So he was the CEO? I'd assumed he was mid-level management. Great, I'd talked back to the boss on my first day. "Thanks for saving my life," I joked weakly. She shrugged. "Don't thank me." "Jake noticed you looked sick." I remembered how he'd assessed my portfolio during the interview. Nodding approval. Maybe that's why he'd cut me slack earlier. At quitting time, Ryan's car idled outside. Sophia lit up when she spotted it, skipping over to tap his window. Ryan ignored her, stepping out to approach me. I backed up, right into Jake, who was pacing nearby on a call. "Dinner?" Ryan smiled like nothing had ever happened between us. Behind him, Sophia froze mid-stride at the sight of Jake. Suddenly mouse quiet. Not my business. But both being Clark's, interesting. What was my business, Ryan airing our dirty laundry publicly? "Stop staring," he hissed. "Embarrassed? Get in the car." I glanced at Jake's Audi. Already on thin ice, what's one more risk? I rapped his window. He lowered it, brow furrowed. Faking cheer, I asked, "Need a favor, Mr. Clark? Just a quick ride?" The only person who could make Ryan stop bothering me now was Jake. Jake glanced at Ryan standing stiffly outside the car window, then at Sophia beside him. "Get in," he said. The car pulled away. When I looked back, Ryan remained frozen on the curb, face stormy as Sophia whispered placations. Inside the vehicle, Jake juggled 3 phone calls simultaneously. I waited through 18 minutes of mergers and acquisitions jargon before he finally noticed me. "Why are you still here? I can leave now." "Thanks, Mr. Clark." I stepped onto the curb, already mentally drafting resignation letters. Another car door slammed behind me. Ryan emerged with Sophia clinging to his arm like ivy. His eyes narrowed at my proximity to Jake's Audi. "So this is why you canceled dinner," he drawled, making no move to disentangle himself from Sophia. I let the assumption hang. Jake's reputation as Manhattan's most unapproachable tech CEO served better protection than any restraining order. To my relief, he merely raised an eyebrow but played along. The lobby swarmed with Architectural Digest's power players. Sophia tugged Jake's sleeve. "Brother, you're not entering." Jake's voice carried across marble floors. "Take your guest elsewhere." His gaze flicked to Ryan before settling on me. "You. With me." I barely processed this when Ryan's parents materialized. Their smiles faltered upon seeing Sophia's manicured claws still embedded in their son's bicep. "Who's this?" "Mrs. Hughes demanded. Sophia Clark." The girl's saccharine smile didn't reach her eyes. "His sister." Jake snorted. Walk through those doors claiming that. And I'll have security drag you out by your extensions. He gripped my elbow, steering me past gawking Vogue editors. My assistant's home with food poisoning. He muttered. Smile and pretend you know parametric design. The lie tasted like champagne bubbles. For tonight, I'd be Lily, not the girl who'd cried over Ryan's Porsche scratches, but the rising star handpicked by Clark Industries' heir. Let Sophia seethe. Let Ryan wonder. Jake's palm burned against my back as we entered the gallery. Keep up, he ordered, though his pace slowed fractionally. And don't embarrass me. Between fake laughing at Starkitect's jokes and discreetly Googling biomorphic structures, I almost missed the dangerous glint in Jake's eyes whenever Ryan glanced our way. Almost. Working anywhere is still work, I've made my peace with that. Throughout the gala, I shadowed Jake as he navigated endless networking. The constant stream of guests toasting him soon left him unsteady on his feet. Though I'm no heavy drinker, I know the unspoken rules of corporate life. When the next toast came, I reached for the glass, only for Jake to intercept it. Without glancing my way, he clinked glasses with the executive across from him. During a rare lull, Ryan appeared with a drink. Care to indulge, Mr. Clark? Jake frowned at the challenge but remained motionless. Sophia tugged Ryan's sleeve. My brother's had enough. Don't be difficult. Ryan seemed deaf to reason, his glare fixed on Jake. This entire spectacle stemmed from me. Snatching the glass, I downed it in one go. There. Satisfied? I hissed at Ryan. Stop embarrassing everyone. Let's part ways cleanly. Reluctantly, he retreated. I dutifully escorted the intoxicated Jake to his car, ending this exhausting charade. After that scene, Ryan finally accepted our breakup and vanished until his familiar BMW reappeared outside our office weeks later. Sophia now skipped to his passenger seat after work, radiating smug satisfaction during our daylight interactions. Buried under new assignments, I often passed out mid-design with half-finished drafts scattered across my desk. One morning, I awoke to Sophia studying my sketches with newfound intensity. That dress design? She mused. I'd only wear something extraordinary. Not bad. Lily, you've got skills. The backhanded compliment unsettled me. As someone who'd clearly leveraged family connections to become an assistant designer despite lacking formal training, her sudden appreciation made me question my entire concept. Overnight, Sophia transformed. The chronic slacker now doodled thoughtfully, stealing occasional glances at my workstation. During our preliminary review meeting, she stunned the room by submitting actual designs rather than her usual corner seat apathy. Jake looked baffled as he opened her portfolio. You created these? The entire team perked up at his tone, equal parts skepticism and reluctant admiration. Known for brutal standards, our creative director rarely showed even flickers of approval. When he turned to me expectantly, I shook my head, still refining mine. Though deadline extensions were routine, Jake's disappointed exhale weighed heavier than expected. He massaged his temples before re-examining Sophia's work, murmuring, "This shows promise," igniting fresh tension in the air. Especially when Sophia sat up proudly and declared, "That's right." Sophia was quite social at the company and got along well with everyone, yet maintained professional modesty. With minimal tangible output and being merely an assistant ineligible for promotions, no one ever suspected her family connections. Jake projected Sophia's draft onto the screen. Murmurs rippled through the designers present, who knew the little assistant had skills. Distinct style. Real potential. I thought she was just coasting. Needs refinement. But impressive. Talk about a dark horse. Sophia basked in the feedback, shooting me a glance that screamed, "You never stood a chance." The room buzzed with approval. Except for Jake and me. His stern expression silenced the room as he demanded my opinion. 20 pairs of eyes became spotlights, forcing me center stage. I smiled. My opinion? That's my design. I'm shocked a mess. Clark keeps appropriating my work. Chaos erupted. Accusing Sophia of plagiarism without submitting my own draft? Jake stood, approaching me. Why didn't you finish yours? I scrapped it for revisions. Show me the incomplete version. His palm extended expectantly. I remained seated. Not everyone archives every draft. My actions looked defensive. I know. In creative fields, unsubstantiated plagiarism claims could destroy careers faster than insubordination. This explains Sophia's recent surveillance. She'd been studying my workflow. Hunting for evidence. Don't strain yourself. Sophia interjected with practiced vulnerability. I may lack brilliance, but I'd never steal. Her composed victim act made me the villain. Mr. Clark's stern mask cracked into a smirk. Whoever plagiarized gets fired. Lily. Was it? Resigned. I opened my laptop. True. I deleted the draft after multiple revisions made in Sophia's presence. But the design software preserved every stroke since inception, even a stray midnight dot at 12:38 a.m. I have no half-finished draft. I stated. Just chaotic records proving this design grew from my hands. Sophia Clark merely forced an ending onto a design I had abandoned. She never truly invested genuine effort into any creation. Rarely even opened design software. She couldn't comprehend what traces of dedication might endure. Deletion isn't the end, it's the beginning. Professionals in our field understood exactly what had transpired. Sophia panicked, but you deleted it. After frantic calculations. She gasped, you did this deliberately. I smiled without confirmation. Truthfully, I'd implemented safeguards the moment she started hovering behind me during design sessions. In our industry, vigilance is survival, especially when dealing with habitual thieves infiltrating both personal and professional realms. This wasn't about Ryan. Failed relationships end, I'd no interest in battling some homewrecker. But Sophia's perpetual sabotage and workplace hostility became intolerable. I refused to repeat past mistakes by abandoning hard-earned opportunities. Initially uncertain about Jake's stance, I soon realized multiple allies shared my disdain for Sophia. My office. Now. Jake ordered coldly, his gaze shifting between us. His brutal transparency stunned me. He conducted family drama without even asking me to leave. I sat awkwardly listening as Sophia tearfully pleaded, Jake. Please. I'll never. He cut her off with icy precision. Your employment was already a concession. Shall we discuss your entanglement with Ryan next? Embarrassing? Sophia's voice turned shrill. When have you ever treated me as family? You deliberately humiliate me by favoring outsiders. Her trembling finger jabbed toward me. Can't you show basic decency to your own blood? Jake's composed mask fractured. My apologies. We both froze, Sophia from shock at unprecedented civility. Me from sudden dread. Were they reconciling at my expense? Her hopeful smile shattered as Jake continued, my disgust remains. You replicate your mother's mistress mentality, that same entitled sneer. Rest assured. The Clark family doors stay locked while I breathe. Complain to father if you dare. The finality broke her. An illegitimate daughter overshadowed by the heir apparent. Perpetually dismissed by their patriarch who prioritized Jake above all, she crumpled. Understanding no redemption would come. She stopped begging for Jake's affection and stood to leave. As she passed me, she murmured, It's fine. I still have Ryan. Before I could process this, Jake called out to me. His dark eyes studied me with unsettling intensity. Submit the draft once it's done. No games. I froze. How did you know I finished? Instead of answering, he pulled up my resume from the interview file. Every designer has a unique style. The moment Sophia submitted that piece, I recognized your fingerprints. His stern expression softened slightly. I'd have fired you both if I didn't genuinely appreciate your work. Heat crept up my neck. As his employee, I'd admittedly overstepped professional boundaries regarding his family matters. Silently, I uploaded the final draft I'd painstakingly revised over sleepless nights, the same files I'd withheld to prevent Sophia from claiming credit. Jake reviewed everything with clinical detachment, as if our earlier confrontation never occurred. We fell into our familiar workflow, polishing details until streetlights flickered outside the office windows. The alarming synergy between our creative visions struck me anew. This man could truly elevate my career. When we finally wrapped up past midnight, I hovered near the exit, grappling with unspoken gratitude. He shattered the moment without looking up from his documents. Still here? I'm not some romance novel CEO offering chauffeur service. The ride-hailing app showed 35 riders ahead when his sedan pulled beside me at the curb. Get in. I thought you weren't playing chauffeur. He drummed the steering wheel impatiently. I prefer not seeing my staff featured in midnight crime alerts. We drove in tense silence until reaching my apartment. Ryan materialized from the shadows, eyes blazing when he recognized Jake's Audi. So this is why you dumped me? Trading up to the boss now? Guess office affairs run in your family. The accusation stung. In his eyes, I'd become no better than Sophia with her transparent schemes. How had I ever loved someone so determined to diminish me? Your taste in men clearly doesn't match your design aesthetic. Jake killed the engine and stepped out, electronically locking me inside. You seem agitated, Mr. Hughes. Should I contact law enforcement? Ryan sneered. What's it to you? This is my employee's safety concern. Jake's thumb hovered over his phone. Your ex-girlfriend appears visibly distressed. As a responsible citizen, the standoff continued with me trapped between my past and present. Jake's profile illuminated by dashboard lights showing neither pity nor mercy, just pragmatic resolve to resolve the situation. Since when do you get to question my identity? Does Uncle Jake know about your mess? Grown man still tattling to daddy. That's your best move? Ryan snorted. Since when does handling a man-child require corporate warfare? Have you ever spent a single day managing the company? Trust fund kid? His sharp tongue left Jake speechless. As usual, Jake knew damn well he'd been coasting on a figurehead title for years. His skills rusting. I wrapped the car window, signaling to exit. Jake looked reluctant but unlocked the doors. I'll handle this. He nodded, staying inside with windows sealed, granting privacy. Ryan's bluster died when I stepped out. Overtime, I said. Unnecessary but necessary. He scrubbed his face. I know. The rant was bullshit. I'm losing it. Sorry. The silence thickened. Do you ever? His throat worked. Was there only ever Sophia? I didn't care about answers anymore. Just closure. You don't love people. You collect them. Your affection dies the second they stop playing your puppet show. If it wasn't Sophia, you'd find another prop. Ryan froze, then laughed bitterly. Fair. Let's not do this again. I walked away, exhausted yet lighter. Jake peeled off without ceremony, his taillights mocking my emotional whiplash. His approval came in twisted ways. Front row invites to exclusive shows, perk of being Clark family's pet designer. When I finally asked why, he deadpanned. You'd rather keep doodling landfill fodder? Classic capitalist bluntness. Comforting. Somehow. The Sonia runway show meant oceanfront suites. Landlocked kid's first beach trip. I was gawking at seashells when Jake's scoff cut through. Act like you've seen water before. He'd never get it. Post-grad life was all grind. No play. I ditched the schmooze fest for night waves. Salt air healing my social battery. Footsteps crunched behind, not Jake's crisp stride. Ryan stood there. My smile dying midair. Everyone here was industry peers. So Ryan's presence wasn't surprising. But I have nothing to say to you. He'd been walking toward me initially but froze at those words. I know. The wind's picking up, be careful. There was clearly more he wanted to say, but I didn't care to hear it. After he left, I got a text from Jake. "Where are you? Don't forget it's work hours." Sighing, I turned back. Sand filled my shoes, forcing me to crouch and empty them. A hand suddenly pressed between my shoulder blades. A hard shove. A wave crashed. Salt water closed over my head. When I came to, Jake's expression was thunderous. Like he'd just finished yelling. A crowd had gathered. Coughing violently, I spat out grit. "What happened?" My chest burned from inhaled seawater. "He exploded. Sneaking off to drown yourself at night? What trash ex is worth this melodramatic grieving?" I blinked. Grieving? I just wanted to clear my mind by the ocean. His jaw tightened. Security footage shows Ryan was the last person heading this way. I paused. Ryan and I hadn't spoken much. He'd never want me dead. But another coughing fit interrupted. Someone pushed me. Didn't the cameras catch it? Jake stayed silent. His expression said there was no evidence. "How do you know it wasn't him?" The push wasn't strong. If it had been a man, I'd be halfway to the Mariana Trench instead of washing up in the shallows. If it was a woman, Jake and I realized simultaneously. Sophia. He immediately made calls. But strangely, Sophia's location data placed her far from Sonia. Back at the venue, Jake demanded answers from the organizers. Yet even by our return flight, nothing conclusive emerged. Hence his current threat whenever we attend events, grinning like a shark. He warns, "If you wander off again, I'll scrap every single one of your drafts." Midyear brought unexpected recognition. My redesigned product won an innovation award and sold surprisingly well. At the company's midyear gala, HR turned my resume and daily work routines into a PowerPoint for the big screen. Mortified, I slipped out to the restroom. Emerging, I found Sophia waiting, shaking water from my hands. I tried walking past. She never seeks me out without motive. Whatever game she's playing, I'm not indulging it. Predictably, she blocked my path. "My brother doesn't like you." The non sequitur confused me until realization struck. She fears me marrying Jake, becoming matriarch of the Clark family. Then she'd forever live in my shadow. Bored out of my mind, I decided to tease her. "If your brother doesn't like me, why are you panicking? Last time you tried seducing Ryan. What's your plan now? Seems like everything I have always makes you jealous." Sophia. Sophia maintained her composure, though I noticed her hands trembling slightly. "What's there to gloat about?" she snapped. "I won't let you have everything your way." I lost patience. "I work hard for every achievement. Meanwhile, you're forever pandering to men, your father, Jake, Ryan, just to erase that illegitimate daughter label. Truth is, nobody cares except you." Her gaze turned contemptuous, as if I'd told a bad joke. "You think I chose to be a mistress's daughter? Spare me the sanctimony. It's disgusting." She stormed off. I stood there pondering. Our birth circumstances aren't sins, only our choices are. Sighing, I turned around and nearly jumped. Jake leaned against the wall holding coffee, having witnessed God knows how much. "Well," he drawled, "seems my hypothetical affection for you is today's hot debate topic." Of course I didn't actually think he liked me, I just said it to provoke Sophia. At most, I was a competent employee he occasionally acknowledged. He handed me his coffee. Before leaving, he remarked, "Winning arguments then sighing? You're greedy." Lily. Back at the venue, the prize draw was ending. Colleagues urged me to hurry, go. Only the mystery grand prize remains. I blindly grabbed a slip and froze. "Can I return this?" My strained smile said it all. The MC snatched my slip and announced, "Congratulations Lily for winning dinner with Mr. Clark. Internet memes joke about unlucky souls getting stuck with CEO dinners instead of TVs. Now I was the punchline. Jake sat alone at his corner table, seemingly oblivious to the commotion. I shuffled over, each step heavier than the last. We ate in silence, me shoveling food like my life depended on it. When I finally looked up, Jake was studying me. Hungry. I mumbled. He nodded, passing me napkins without comment. As I nearly choked on my 5th spring roll, he said abruptly, "Ignore Sophia's nonsense." Maybe the carbs fogged my brain. Which part? Before he could answer, the lights died. A video flashed on screen. The crowd gasped. Jake and I stared, frozen, as the footage began playing. The intimate video began playing with blurred faces and muted audio. Yet every eye in the room immediately turned to me. The dress worn by the female lead had been featured in my design portfolio mere moments earlier. Sophia wore my senior thesis project like a weapon of seduction, her co-star being none other than Ryan, the walking embodiment of infidelity. I'd forced myself to avoid imagining these grotesque scenarios 1,000 times since discovering Ryan's betrayal. Never did I expect to witness it through such twisted theatrics. My gaze remained fixed on the screen until the final frame faded. Jake nudged my arm, his expression grim. "Are you okay?" I met his concerned look with a smile. Why wouldn't I be? Cheap tricks like this only destroy their perpetrators. So this was Sophia's promised retaliation, spreading salacious rumors that held no power unless I took the bait of self-justification. Yet suddenly, I felt compelled to help her prove something. Security apprehended Sophia in the media room where she'd apparently been waiting. "Ryan refuses to see me," she stated calmly when I entered, her gaze shifting to Jake. "Since I've already lost all dignity, why not ruin you too?" Her bitter laugh sliced through the tension. "Still find her appealing after watching that, brother?" The man standing behind me remained silent. "You thought it was me?" I challenged. Jake's brow furrowed. "I'm figuring out how to handle my disgraceful sister." The word sister hung heavily between us. "Was it you at the beach?" I demanded of Sophia. Who else would bother? That geotag proved nothing. So what if it was? Her smirk turned venomous. "You keep surviving every time he runs back to you. Consider it corrective education." "You're insane." I dialed Ryan's number. "Time to repay that favor you owe me." He'd warned me weeks ago about Sophia's schemes, sending evidence I'd deleted in disgust. Ryan couldn't care less about collateral damage. In fact, my forgiveness might make him crueler toward her. The video arrived instantly, conveniently censored only for himself. "Need her DMs too?" His voice oozed through the speaker. I hung up and queued the file for playback. Sophia lunged for my phone, panic eroding her composure. "Why does he go this far for you?" "I have to beg for scraps." "Did you think womanhood granted you immunity?" I uploaded the footage, amplifying the audio until it reverberated through the convention hall doors. Her saccharine voice flooded the space. "Is Lily prettier than me? Does she look half as good in that dress? Dump her. She's mediocre. I am your true match." The smirking vixen on screen now trembled in devastation. Chaos erupted as crowds gathered beyond the doors. I hauled Sophia upright. "Time for your grand exit, princess. They're all waiting to admire your finest performance." The circus had reached its finale. The day Sophia walked out, she was on the verge of collapse. Even with her head bowed, every step felt impossible. The humiliation had reached her father's ears, and the man who'd always turned a blind eye finally reached his limit, severing their last remaining ties. Our colleagues had witnessed the entire spectacle, though truthfully no one gossiped behind my back. Everyone's too consumed with their own lives to fixate on others. The occasional jokes came openly asking why I hadn't taken down Jake yet to make him ease up on them. I remembered Jake's unfinished sentence during mid-year reviews. That's when I realized our relationship had shifted into unfamiliar territory. Even casual encounters at the office now carried strange tension. I began compiling materials for Milan Design School applications. While studying abroad had always been part of my plan, Jake saw this as another retreat. When he learned of my decision, he asked if I'd fully considered it. "If you're certain," he offered. "I studied there. Let me streamline the process." His support and understanding brought relief and reaffirmed my wisdom in resisting impulsive intimacy. Real connection isn't about rushed possession. I cherish his genuine respect. At the airport departure curb, Jake leaned against the hood of his car, silent yet telegraphing unspoken words. His eyes held my complete reflection. How could anyone remain unaffected when a serious man focuses that intently on you? But what truly stirred me was the unconscious favoritism in his gaze whenever he evaluated my designs. "Be careful over there," he finally said. "It's not the safest. I've got friends in the industry there, reach out if needed. Learn from them." The practical advice kept flowing until I extended my hand. "Thank you. Let's hug it out." He remained motionless for several heartbeats before scoffing. "Just say if you want to stay." As boarding announcements echoed, I turned to leave only to feel his arms circle me from behind, restrained yet deliberate. For one suspended moment, I considered altering everything between us. When I tried turning, he stopped me, steering me forward instead. "Come back safely," he said against my hair. "We'll talk then." Though I never looked back. I felt his gaze linger until security gates severed the connection. My resolve solidified as I waved. "Soon enough."